All right, so we're back for another great day, another installment of Younger Life Live. Do you feel it in the air, Mary Anthony? Do you feel it?
I'm excited.
Woo!
I got up excited. I'm ready.
I am so stoked. I'm Rick Federici. That's Mary Anthony. You see us right now. Hey, if you go to youtube.com and you search out Younger Life, you will see us. Actually, let's wave. Let's wave. I love you. And you know what? You could chime in anytime you want throughout the show. We would love to hear from you. That number here at the studios at Gerard Media LLC's WIMS is 219-861-1632. I feel absolutely phenomenal today. I don't know how you feel.
I feel great.
Okay.
I feel great.
I'm gonna.
It's nice out. It's a little, you can breathe without the cold. It's still cold. But
Sure.
I'm ready. I'm excited. It's a good day.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this out there to you. For those folks that know myself, you know I have that crazy schedule. I get up about 1:40 every day. I go to bed sometimes at like 9:30. And since we're packing, which ties into today's show, to try to move. I've been in this house for 21 years, which is a whole other story and a whole other level. But I get the groove going and I'm trying to pack boxes and I'm telling you, I'm pulling my hair out. But I think about positive things before we jump into that and the book we're going to talk about, Mary Anthony. What did you have for breakfast today as we're feeling younger longer? What are you doing to take a step in the right direction? What did you have for breakfast?
I had a half a banana.
Okay.
A half a banana, a glass of water, and a big old coffee that was not probably good for me because it did have sweet cream in it.
Well,
but
wait.
Hey.
What kind of sweet cream in there, if you don't mind me asking?
Is
it the Italian one?
It is. It's the Cafe Mocha. That's
My wife loves
it.
that one.
And I can't. I can't give it up.
Okay. Well, you want to know what? You don't have to give it up because there are a few out there on the shelf, and we'll talk a little bit more about upcoming shows this weekend and future shows and installments here on Younger Life Live with Mary Anthony and Rick Federici. Ways to tweak it a little bit and whatever, but everything in moderation, right?
That's it. I saw the most awesome quote. It said, "Everything in moderation except laughter," and I think that is the best motto.
I love laughing.
That. I think. That is so good. Yes, everything in moderation, but you have to laugh every day as much as you can.
I agree.
So I loved that.
It's the positive flow because as a parent, as a mom of 5, with your husband and his crazy schedule. I know with my schedule and my daughters and life and the crazy commute through multiple states daily, 7 days a week. You have to sometimes step back in life and say, what can I do to adjust? What can I do to feel better? Even when you're like, you get up and you're like, oh my gosh, I literally just had 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah. That's terrible. Yeah.
Goal number 1 for this year was to try to get at least an hour or 2 more, Mary.
No way. That was totally my goal.
For real.
I'm going to try really hard to get 6 or 7 hours every single night. Now, it doesn't always happen. And I have to say, my poor husband, he works swing shift and he had to cover. So he basically got home at midnight, went to bed, and had to get back up at 3:30 and leave.
Wow.
So, and he'll be home this afternoon by 3 o'clock. But still, he was so tired. And the day before that, he had been on midnight, so he only slept 4 hours and had to get up and go. He's got to be beat.
And not to be weird, a lot of us have significant others, and a lot of us have relationships, and I'm thinking there's somebody out there saying, wow, that's so me. That's so my family. That's so my situation,
Right.
My children are in a million sports, and I'm trying to work to bring home a second paycheck, and we're just trying to cover our mortgage. We're just trying to cover our bills, our rent.
Make it work.
You know what freaks me out is the price so much of like food and just as a family, you say to yourself, okay, we're going to try to do this and that. And you're like, okay. And I walk in to a grocery store or we have our list. We're very good about an organized list. But what happens is if you go, and I don't know if you've ever done this, have you ever gone to the grocery store? Have you ever gone to the grocery store hungry?
Too many times.
And then you just start shoving stuff in the cart and it's like crazy.
Too, there is a good time to go and definitely a bad time to go.
Agree.
And it's too easy to go at the bad time when you don't, you get there and then, you plan on spending, I'm going to stick to $250 and you walk out a whole lot more.
Isn't that crazy how you're saying insane. That? Because we could easily drop double hondos a week at $200 without even thinking about it. And you literally go home and it's like, okay, The 7 bananas are hanging. There's 3 avocados there.
Oh, yeah. And
There's
they're gone
2
so
servings of
fast.
chicken. There's 2 big things of yogurt. I mean, I'm thinking of that. And obviously,
frustrating.
it is crazy.
It gets really frustrating.
Crazy.
It seems as though I'm always at the grocery store, and it's never.
I know.
There's 7 of
It
us.
never
We spend
ends.
a lot of money at the grocery
And if you don't mind me asking, before we get into organizing and helping us, get out of the whole clutter mode in the book we're going to talk about in a second, here on Younger Life Live, do you find that all your children and your husband, you're pulling your hair out, like something different? Like, for example, my daughter Devin, very picky, but she'll eat the salad. She's a young woman. She'll eat the salad. She'll eat the chicken. She'll make paninis. She likes very specific things. But if we have, like, if I'll make a pulled pork and a side of veggies on the side in the crock pot, she'll be like, "Oh, that's good, but I'm gonna have X."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
We do a little bit of that. There's especially this time of year, we love chili. But I say we, meaning my husband and I have only one of my children will actually eat chili. So when I make chili, I always make either a nice big thing of chicken noodles, that they'll eat.
Sure.
Something else. It's always, and I am always funny about, I don't want to make them eat something different. They're going to suck it up, Buttercup. You know what I mean? They have to eat a little bit.
Suck it up, Buttercup. That is the phrase that pays today on Younger Life Live.
I mean, I do. I tell them that. I'm sorry. You have to broaden your horizons a little. But if I know it's something that they truly dislike, not just not wanting to try it, then I'll make something different. Like the chili, I realize they really don't like it. I've made them try it.
Well, wait. So do you and your husband? I mean, does anybody like the chili in the house?
Oh, my husband and I, one of my daughters loves it. So I'll make chili.
Sure.
But I make another dinner aside, which stinks.
Wow.
But I try to make that an easy one, an
Sure.
easy thing. So, it works. But most of the time, no. I mean, if they like something different, that's fine for lunch. If you're going to make your own, sandwich or your own, you want a grilled cheese when the rest of us aren't having, go for it for the bigger kids. You know what I mean?
You need a panini maker too. They work wonders.
That's great. We had a quesadilla maker that one of my daughters loved, and that's easy to use. And,
Sure.
You don't worry about it as much. Them, not going to really burn themselves.
Well, you could make the quesadillas with the good cheese, and then have a side of like avocados, and maybe kind of go a halfway on that one.
A little bit.
Yeah,
absolutely. But in my another time I read an organizational book, I got rid of the quesadilla maker.
See,
we didn't use it often.
We need to talk about what is legit in this book,
Right.
because you and I have very opinions. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring up the book's title? Let's chat a little bit about that.
This book is written by. She seems brilliant in her own way. It's called "The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up" by Marie Kondo. It was. I've read a few. I like self-help books, anyways. So over the years, I've read a few different types of them. This one was very different when we were approached to do this book.
Yes.
I had never even heard of it.
Me either.
And so I read it. It's different. It's very different. It's not just a book about organize, toss out. It isn't, her methods are a lot different. So I don't even know how to put it very simply. She believes in respecting everything, and I literally mean everything around you. And
I want to throw this out there because I want you to continue with this focus. It's the Japanese art, correct?
It is.
Is that something?
She's Japanese. I'm not sure if that's
maybe a part of
in
it.
there, right? Part of the culture environment, which that's what's fantastic about it. She believes you should keep nothing that doesn't bring you joy, spark joy, is what she says.
And I'm going to stop you there because this is where it drives a guy like Rick Federici, Mary Anthony, Younger Life Live, of course, Gerard Media's WIMS, and YouTube. You could see us and call in if you'd like, 219-861-1632. Everything that I have, Mary, gives me joy. My family and all of my, and I hate to use, I try to stay away from the word possessions,
right? But
I'm going to use the word possessions because to me, how can I as a father with daughters that are going to be 18 and 22 from when they were babies, and you have 5 of your own, you know where I'm going with this. They make you a little craft that says, I love you, Dad. And that crazy little kid,
Yeah.
like little writing, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like so precious.
I know. And you know,
Do you know what I
it's gonna
mean?
make me
How do
sound
you throw
so
it away?
cold. I have boxes and boxes of stuff. that
Me
I save.
too.
But at the same time, I've gotten really good at, I can't save every scrap. Now, I have some children that think that I should, so I do not draw attention to it, but I very easily will, when I'm tossing, I will toss things. I have to. There are times there is just not a choice. You can't save everything. Although this woman is very different in her, she doesn't believe just what brings you joy, down to literally the things in your medicine cabinet. It has to be everything. You need to respect and honor, and that's the part that I find a little maybe not practical for me. But her methods are different as far as all books the organization books say, usually they say start with the room. Start with the room, organize, do a donate, a garbage, a keep, pile, box, whatever. She does not. She divides it into categories, which I found interesting and maybe more applicable to myself.
Sure.
I'm going to find it here exactly how her categories are listed. So she says that you should declutter in this order. You start with clothing. Every piece, she believes, this is where this is crazy, but go ahead. It is crazy to me. This is the part you should hold every piece of your clothing to see if it sparks joy in you. If it does, it's a keeper. If it doesn't, it serves some other purpose, and it's time to pass it along in a donate. Okay, can I ask you a question? Please.
So you're now in your room. You and Jeremy are having a conversation. He gets home from work, crazy day for Jeremy, crazy day for Mom, Mary, between working and keeping the house up and the children. You've got multiple jobs. You're already at school helping out. You're doing a number of things. You get home, you pick up the clothes, and you've got this pretty blouse in your hands. Do you feel the spark?
I do not.
Okay.
I think that I'm defective in that. I would not. And not only that, my jammy pants would probably give me a whole lot better spark.
That's what I mean. Especially if your husband's there. Oh!
Yeah, especially at the end of the day.
Right.
There were a lot of very valid points. I think she has done, really, she has a lot of clients.
Sure.
A wait list that is months long of people and, waiting to get her to help them organize. So I think she certainly is doing something right. I would recommend reading it. There's a lot of things in there that are not the most, for myself, the most practical. Again, I read a very funny review, and I
think before the end of today's segment here at Younger Life Live, maybe we could bring up some of the things, because quite honestly, this show is all about the different levels of trying to kind of move into a different area of life,
Right.
For example, hence the title Younger Life Live. So it could be looking at something and spinning it around in a different way. Now, I will tell you, through the years, and I could cry to this day when my wife, and you're going to know where I'm going with this one, I'm a concert kid. So I love my concerts since I was a young boy. And I take my daughters to shows. We go with them. And my wife and I was just saying to Ryan Beth, who, by the way, is our executive producer on site for the camera stuff you see going, and he's a great guy, and our tech crew at Younger Life Live, we thank you for all that you do. And we were just chatting, my wife and I, 30 plus years ago, this is dating me, saw The Cure for the first time. We're big Cure fans, but we're also big, I love all genres of music. So we talk about, different things like that. Well, The Cure's coming for 3 big shows in the U.S., and they're doing one in L.A., one in New York, and one in Chicago. We're going to The Cure. Well, a great example is Florence and the Machine is coming to our backyard, and they're only doing a handful of shows. It's like one of those, but that's one of those shows where my daughter Devin's like, are you and Ma going to that show? And I'm like, we're going lawn, because they like to sit in the seats. I'm like, we're going lawn. I'm covering the show. If you want to go, let's all go together as a family. But it's things like that. Getting to the concert shirts. Are you ready for the spark?
Yeah.
I have in my closet, and right now as I'm trying to move, I'm trying to move hundreds, and I'm going to tell you another side story to this, hundreds of concert shirts, whether they're Bowie, U2, Rush, Motley Crue. I could go
That's
on and on.
awesome.
Just I have thousands of ticket stubs. I love shows. I don't want to throw those away. If you want Rick Federighi to get a spark, it's not going to be over a nice sweater or a
Right.
dress shirt or my nice jeans or my nice pants or dress
Right.
shoes. This may sound weird to somebody, but I've got a U2 shirt from when I met Bono back in early 80s at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago.
That is so cool.
And he signed stuff. I've never worn it. Elvis
That's
Costello
awesome.
solo, stuff like that. But I have it. That gives Rick Federighi a spark.
Absolutely, and those are things she would say then you don't get rid of.
Right.
They give it, but hundreds. Wow, that is crazy. That is really neat.
They're all on hangers, kid.
Wow, that is so neat. Do you know what you could do eventually?
Go for it.
Is make
Talk to me.
You've heard of the quilts that
Sure,
they make.
yeah.
You could do a shirt quilt, which would be super cool.
That's a good idea.
Because then you could even hang it up if you wanted, just because it's so cool. And
Actually, I like that idea.
if you don't wear them, if you wear them, keep them to, you eventually wear them out. But those are the best T-shirts.
I love that. Well, you know what I've done too with some of the shows, and in the early years, we were able to buy a program for $5. Now they're like 30.
Right.
Shirts are 40, 50, 60, 80 hoodies, crazy.
Yeah.
But I have actually put my ticket stubs, from a hobby store, the ticket stubs with the shirt and with the program, and then it becomes art.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of my
In
stuff is
those-
signed.
Right. That is so neat. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Really, really cool.
Well, the other day, with the death recently of David Bowie, had the pleasure of seeing Bowie several times in my life. And it was during the Serious Moonlight tour, which goes back again to the 80s. We trip back to the 80s. He signed a Bowie picture for me. He never signed in the years that we're in right now or in the last few decades, but very reclusive kind of dude. When he comes in concert, he's there. But I have stuff like that where it's like, oh my gosh, you don't want to get rid of stuff like
Absolutely
that.
not. That's
But you know what I'm
awesome.
saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm taking these off the hangers and I'm organizing them in bins, and I'm not even letting anybody know, because to me, these are pieces of art. I'm actually putting Rick's office and Christmas, because that's my code. And if anybody knows me, you better not go near my garage. Rick's
funny.
office and Christmas, and then what I'm doing is I'm putting stuff on top of it. So if anybody does go in there, like the movers, they're not going to know. And I tape it shut and do all that crazy
yeah,
stuff. But you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Yeah, that's scary.
It is
stings.
crazy.
You have to say that. Not to trust. That's scary.
But let's talk about, if you don't mind. Obviously, the book's title is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And what it is, you're seeing that right now on the screen, the Japanese art of decluttering and organizing. Let's talk about, the author there is Marie Kondo. Is that correct?
Marie Kondo.
Yeah.
And her method is called the KonMari method.
The
Is how she-
KonMari method.
The KonMari method, right? And that's what she's deemed her method. And again, very successful,
Mm-hmm.
very fascinating woman. It's very, very cool. Lots of good quotes from the book. One of the things. Let me see. There was one of my favorites here that she. Let me first tell you the order.
Sure.
that she believes you should sort. Again,
Okay.
starting with clothing.
Okay, I'm
Every
listening.
item- every item in your house. If it sparks joy, it's a keeper.
Okay.
If it doesn't, it's a donate. She recommends books next. Now I love books.
So do I.
So for me, it would be tough. Even books that I haven't loved, it would be hard for me to just
part with them.
toss.
I
Well,
agree.
only because for one, they look nice, but for two, and children's books, we have so many kids
Yes.
books. You hate to get rid of books that if someone else can enjoy eventually. Now I know I do. I get rid of books if they're, a paperback that I love that's ratty or. Throw it out.
Jim Morrison, no one gets out here alive.
Really, yeah.
I won't get rid of that. It's all
Well, don't.
battered. I've read it
That's
4
good.
times.
I have a couple favorites that are ratty old
Agree.
ones, and I don't care. But I'm keeping them until pages fall out.
Right,
Whatever.
right.
But she says books, and her method. The reason she does them like this is she says clothing, books, papers, which God knows.
That's my
I
hardest
have a
struggle.
disaster.
Papers.
I have disaster papers. It's overwhelming every day.
Agree.
Of papers. Miscellaneous stuff is next, and mementos, which are also photos, and papers that are, the ones you were talking about from your kids. Those, even though they're papers, it's considered mementos.
Sure.
So, and she saves mementos for last, the category being last, because she feels as though clothing's probably the easiest. If it doesn't fit anymore, it's easy to get rid of. So she starts easiest and makes it more difficult. By the end, she thinks you're more decisive. I mean, she goes as far as to saying that when you declutter your entire environment, your life falls into order. She has clients that have, she claims, clearer skin, healthier bodies. Your body detoxes itself as well. Again, this
All
is
the result of?
all the result of. This is her observation.
Sure,
and
yeah,
her
yeah.
serious, firm beliefs. I again, like I said, I found it fascinating. I'm not sure that I'm totally in with all of the, whether it's practical for myself or whether I think that, I could get a jump start on.
Well, what happens? Let's say, and I'm going to throw this out there. Let's use this as an example. Younger Life Live, Mary Anthony, Rick Federico. We're talking about organizing, decluttering. We're into a new year, and we're thinking, and it doesn't matter if you're at the early part of the year, the middle part of the year. This is pretty much at any time. Great book. There's some great insight in there. But what do you do with true? Forget about the children's pictures and the cards you're keeping. We keep stacks and stacks of Hallmark cards. I'm going to throw this out there. You know why? Because there have been times in my life where I've lost dear friends and family members.
Yeah.
And the last thing I got from them was a card saying, "Happy birthday. I love you.
Right.
Miss you." And I'm literally looking at their handwriting going, "Oh my gosh, this is the last time
you have this.
I have something like this."
Right.
But what do you do with your business papers? What do you do with your, you could shred bank statements, a lot of stuff you can get online. So my wife and I, with what's going on with us trying to move, even with our children, I said, you know what, I'm spinning this maybe with a new step. The stuff that we can get online, whether it's, bank things or credit card statements or whatever, because I always have those sent to whether it's the business or the home, because I always like to check. That's a great reference for myself or someone that helps me with my bills.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I say those folks, especially if it's a business related thing.
Right.
So maybe get rid of those or shred those. It always shred, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have the shredder going, of course, on the side. But along with that, what do you do with that paperwork? Because I got to tell you, the other day, I got so, I don't want to use the word upset, but it just was overwhelming for me. And I literally have right next to in our family room, next to our fireplace, there's probably right now, and I could probably count in my head, 10 to 15 open bins. Yeah. And in each one of these bins, it's funny you bring up, my books consist of things that I like, subjects, but mostly it's the life of, and it's all music, whether it's the Stones, whether it's, and it could be all genres, all eras. So you got a Sinatra book, you've got, a tour book from this person, but it's things I like to read or stories about that.
They spark joy for you.
Right. But then everything's sparking joy for me. My wife would say, that's what I'm saying.
As far as the paperwork goes, I feel like for me, the paperwork in our house it's school papers, it's junk mail, it's mail that I need to go through, it's mail that I need to shred, which piles up so quick, it's not even funny. She does the KonMari method. She divides those papers into, let me see, she puts them in 3 categories.
Let's hear it.
Papers that you currently use,
okay,
which I'm assuming would be bills you're going to pay, stuff
okay,
like that. Papers that need to be kept for a limited time, and then papers that have to be kept forever. Otherwise, the rest is garbage. Again, excluding the ones that you're keeping that go into the memento column. Love letters, invitations, cards, thank you cards, birthday cards, stuff like that. That if those are important to you, those go to the mementos, and those get sorted last. And about her again, I don't want to feel like I'm saying it's not valid. The point of it all is to get rid of the things that clutter your life so you can focus on the things that really matter. That is her point, and respecting everything around you, which is fantastic. It's interesting the way she does it. She has all the clients that she's dealt with have not reverted. They've stayed decluttered, which I find incredible. But again, I don't think that, thinking the underwear that you have, the old granny panties that you really don't love, but they don't spark a joy, but are a necessary part of life.
But that's a necessity.
It's the same thing as one of the reviews that I have read referenced the Neosporin in your medicine cabinet. It's pretty hard to summon the little joy where you can be grateful to the fact that it assists you, but it is doesn't seem practical in most of our lives to say.
All right. Younger Life Live. Now, hold on to that here with WIMS, the talk of the South Shore, streaming live at WIMSradio.com. Rick Federici and Mary Anthony. People who can't stay tidy can be categorized into 3 types. The can't throw it away type, the can't put it back type, and the first 2 combined type. 90% of her clients fall into 3rd category.
That's me, I would say.
We're trying to we're trying to think about ways to help and potentially get rid of the chaotic lifestyle. So that's what I'm doing right now at my age, at this time of my life. So I'm going to try, and I am truly trying some of these methods because the garbage that I got rid of this week, I'm very proud of myself the last couple of weeks, has been, and it's weird because you brought up maybe a sense of feeling a little bit better. I feel relieved. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I feel that I've actually jumped over hurdles, and I got to be honest, from a guy perspective, making my life a little bit less chaotic from putting this stuff together, it's a little easier on the relationship.
That's right. Well, and that's good.
You know?
I think it is very freeing to get rid of, to clean out. We have a small house, so there's a lot of us. So I have to stay organized. But it's funny.
You got the multiple shelves going, don't you?
Well, in reading her stuff, I find that a lot of the organizational books that I have read previously, it's only been a few, but they promote organizing and putting into bins, and she says do not do that. She says you do not stack stuff.
Okay.
You want to carry weight all day is what
I want you to go back to the stacking and the other stuff, because this is great. I want to hear about this because I need your help.
It's fascinating. Well, and I think I clearly am not an expert at anything when I do that, and then I'm thinking I've got it pretty well organized, and then I read hers and think my possessions. She feels as though that all of your possessions have feelings in a sense. So would you want to bear weight all day?
Feelings.
I know, which sounds funny. And so I think, if that's the case, my stuff hates me. We pile everything up. I mean, you don't have a choice. It's the way it goes, and I feel like I do try to clean out, reorganize, revamp every at least twice a year, really.
Right.
I mean, it needs it to get rid of, clean out.
I wish I had half the oomph that you have here with AM 1420 WIMS and, of course, Younger Life Live, because if I could do that a couple times a year, I wouldn't be in this position 21 years later.
You still would. I still am.
I'm serious.
It's crazy. Stacking more stuff is the point, and I can clean out, weed out. That's easy as far as I don't have a problem throwing away. It's just I feel like it's a lot of this. I mean, one example, she says you should empty your handbag or purse every day.
Okay.
That would kill me.
I want to go straight shot on Mary there, Ryan, Beth, executive producer. Keep it on her for a second. And I want you to keep it on her because I want you to describe what that would mean to you. Take your time. What would you have to empty out of your purse? Say that what you just said, and then I want you to dissect that a little bit just here on Younger Life Live.
She says you should empty your handbag on a daily basis at night. And she says going to bed, actually, if you left everything in your handbag, it's like going to bed with a full stomach every night. That's what she says. And I try not to laugh. I realize she sincerely believes that. I can't imagine pulling everything out of my purse every day. I have papers in there. I keep my planner in there. I have a ton of pens and pencils and, gum. I carry this is funny, but one of those little like roll up tape measures.
Yeah.
I know that's silly. I have one in my purse.
No, it's not.
Believe how many times I've been somewhere and say,
I'm going to be that guy.
Let me see how big that is, if that would fit. It's so silly. I can't imagine pulling those things out every single day. But she is absolutely.
So what do you do with the stuff?
Oh, you lay them out for them to rest, and then in the morning you put them back. I mean, she's very specific. Every single thing has a place, which I do believe. But she says, how would you feel if you weren't at your home at night? So all of your possessions need to be in their place at night. And again, I feel like this is a very different book. I don't know.
Are they?
This is a very different book than the way I had read. Now, a lot of people took a lot from it, and that's basically what it boils down to. I feel like I can learn something from anything. And from her, I learned it is probably beneficial to keep those things that you love the most, especially when we're talking clothing. It's easy to keep old things in your closet. You know what I mean?
Agree.
It's so easy to have things that either one, you don't fit you great, or two, you really don't love, but you've had them. They're still in good shape, so you hate to get rid of them. I think I could certainly, my closet could use that. Clear that out. Donate. You know what I mean?
I'm all about donating, giving away.
Well, I could certainly do that at home in the closets. You know, I try to keep up on that with the kids. That's interesting too with the kids, how she doesn't like you to stack things. My first 3 are girls, my last 2 are boys. When my oldest grows out of it, I tote it up and save it for the next one if it's still in good shape. When she's out of it, it goes to the next one. Same thing with my boys. And when we're done there, I have a younger niece, and then I have for the girls' stuff, and then for the boys' stuff, I have a cousin that has her son is a year younger than my youngest. So he literally grows out of it, and I pass it straight to her. Get it out. You know what I mean? I am all about doing that. But we do tote. How do you not? I don't understand.
Right.
I think this poor woman, Marie Kondo, would have a fit if she came into
maybe
house.
upcoming segment.
That would be fascinating. But
we get her on the air and we play with her. I know it's the Japanese art culture. I don't know if there's going to be a language barrier, but maybe we get a translator. Maybe Ryan Beth, our executive producer. Do you know Japanese?
Do
you know Japanese? No, he's shaking his head. No, throw that book up, Ryan, if you wouldn't mind, so we could show the viewers.
Book.
It really is
beautiful cover, and a lot. Again, there are some very valid things in there. My favorite thing about it was the categories that she broke them down to. I feel like that's, I personally have always said, I'm going to tackle this room first. That's exactly like I said. The other books have always geared you towards. I like this. She says, do clothing first in every room. Do all clothing first. I don't think she had a house full of people. It doesn't sound that way. So I think maybe one closet wouldn't be so intimidating for me. She makes it sound like this is something you should be able to tackle. You do a category a day. Please, clothing alone. Now you're talking a week of getting through all of that at least, and really focusing on it. And then books, papers, please. It would take forever. But I do like the categories. I think for anybody looking for a different
approach,
method,
sure.
Yeah, the KonMari method is certainly different, and I think it's okay to learn a new way to respect things. I
agree.
I like that. I like that aspect to a point.
And I think you would probably agree with me, Mary, that I think this is a great way for all of us to take a step in the right direction to declutter our life.
Absolutely.
Make our life less chaotic.
Yes.
And then, for some of us, kind of if stuff's ingrained in you and you make such a dramatic change, and I could hear somebody out there saying, I'm with you on this one, dude. It's hard to just get into the next phase of it. If you say, this is how it's got to be, bing, bing, bing. Otherwise, if someone said, do it this way, figure it out. Okay, I'm going to throw some out there. This comes from the KonMari method. All right, so let's talk about a present, okay? And I'm going to throw this out there. According to our young lady, and the author's name is?
Marie Kondo.
Okay, according to Marie, the true purpose of a present is to be received. Presents are not things, but a means for conveying someone's feelings. When viewed from this perspective, you don't need to feel guilty for parting with the gift. Just thank it for the joy it gave you when you first received it. What's your thought on that?
I like that. Actually, I
do
like
too.
that. Only
I do
because, there are lots of times you get something that it was the best thought, but you don't love it, but you keep it. Or you put it away when they're, you bring it out when they're coming over, which really I haven't really had to do.
Everybody raise their hand if you're guilty of that when they come over thing.
I've been very lucky with that.
Yeah.
I haven't had to.
Yeah.
I haven't had to do that. But it's nice I think that she puts it well when she says, get rid of it. It's really about the thought. And I feel like that's a very good idea. It's easy to do that. Without feeling guilty about it. It's a good way to say, you know what, it's true. Or I've used it to the extent I've used it, and now somebody else.
It's time to part with it.
Right,
Can I throw some out there? I'm going to be married 25 years this year. There are gifts. Thank you, Lord, for small favors. I don't know how she stuck with me. God bless. There are presents that we received from our wedding, and we were just talking about this. I can't believe you brought this up. They were all gifts. Yeah. When we got married, so you say 25 years ago, we were married. We went out for 8 years, and then we now been married officially 25 years this year. We received gifts that I literally still have
Not open.
in boxes and not open. And I don't, my wife said to me, if you put it at a garage sale, I could tell you what Rick Federighi's thinking. Oh my gosh, they're going to show up your dear friend
that would be
who
good.
gave you this blank, whatever that blank is.
Or worse, you're going to forget that it came from them and you're going to be saying, I'm getting rid of that thing and never opened it. And they're going to say,
I gave that to you. You're a
that
jerk.
Would be terrible. That would be awful.
But
so
now I'm at the point to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with this. I'm learning a lot from this book. I really am.
There really were a lot
I'm
of
feeling
things.
like it's almost like therapy for me today.
You know what? Her this is her theory.
Sure.
In a simple form, I guess. When you put your house in order, your affairs in order, and your past becomes in order too. That's really what she believes, and it's all about a respect, and that's a beautiful thing. I love the, the kindness in her.
I agree.
I just have a hard time, talking to, my purse. And say,
I'm
sorry for stuffing you.
I'm
all day
totally
long. I
seeing
think
you
that
after a
hurts
fun
my-
night with Jeremy out with your friends, coming home and putting the lipstick and all the crazy
Yeah.
stuff on the counter and talking to it, and your
Checking
husband going,
everything out.
she's truly lost it.
Yeah,
She's
I think
gone
so.
local.
I read a very cute review that she was kind of saying, this book ruined me for the fact that I now walk past my belongings thinking everything here hates me because I've been so disrespectful to my stuff. And it she said she found herself speaking to her sock drawer. And
Wow.
thought her husband made fun of her and said, I hope I'm still married after this. Just, this book is so different in the approach of her organization methods. Again, the point is to get to the things that are the most important to you in life. And I love that theory. I just don't know that I would follow all of the practices for myself. But I liked the way to go about it. I feel like, oh, please, I could absolutely use it. We always need new tips
Sure.
at home. On to keep things organized.
It could help. All right.
It was funny and fascinating. So
How about this? Truly precious memories will never vanish, even if you discard the objects associated with them. So we live in the present. This is according to this book. No matter how wonderful things used to be, we cannot live in the past.
Right.
The joy and excitement we feel here and now are more important. I'll go with that.
I think
I agree with
think
that
that's
100%.
beautifully said,
You're right.
Too. She that's brilliant. When it comes to one little thing in a different book I had read once that I loved, the kids make a lot of projects, and I'm talking like larger, not just papers, but projects for school. We've gotten to now where we snap a picture of them with their project and throw the project out. And
Okay, I like that idea.
the first time I did it, my one daughter said, oh, we spent all this time making this. Yeah, we did. And I'm sorry. And it was an Indian habitat. That was great. We crap whittled out of clay that we did. And, all of this stuff, spent a lot of time on it. Used sticks to make a little canoe thing.
Sure.
It was all a raft. It was all great, beautiful. And she couldn't believe I was going to throw it away. But I said, honey, where in the world do you store it? If you stuff in a tote, it's going to break and it will ruin and be gross. We can't leave it open. It's a big, poster board size. That was the base. So you're talking a large thing. Picture this big. You see, it's a regular picture size. Save that.
Have just helped Rick Federighi immensely, and you don't know.
Oh, good.
This young lady's name is for this book is what?
Marie Kondo.
Okay, Marie Kondo, phenomenal book. Ryan, throw that bad boy up on the screen. Here we go. The life-changing magic of tidying up to Japanese art of decluttering and organizing, Marie Kondo. I think you have now helped me, and this is how you've helped me. I'm going to go home today to get rid of, I feel, I'm not kidding you, Mary Anthony, you are helping Rick Federighi here on Younger Life Live. I'm going to go home and take pictures. I have 8 giant totes, the long ones that snap of my children's pictures from when they were little kids. I now feel, I'm like, how can I part with these? I really am crushed. I'm going to go take pictures of it.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. That would be a really
and it's
cute
digital
thing to do too. Yeah, that would be a cute thing. Make a little, cover your table in one of the daughters.
Sure.
Carly's the oldest, right?
Right.
Pull Carly's stuff out on a table, take a picture, and move those, do the rest of hers till that.
I love
is
this.
Gone,
This
and
is
then
great.
Say you have 10 pictures,
right,
that cover all of those papers. Save a couple maybe, but I've gotten a lot better at that.
This is
I
good.
really need to.
You've
I have
helped
totes
me.
and totes in my room too.
Yeah.
But,
Under the bed.
Under the bed. We have a couch in our room that we call Brownie that we couldn't part with. Speaking of parting.
Oh, here we go. Get rid of it.
I know. Well, the couch had been broken
Sure.
down. It was an old couch, but we loved it. It's so comfortable. And so I said, I can't bear to get rid of it. And so we stuck it in our room. Well, the theory is when the kids, wander into our bed, at least then I could say, get on Brownie, sleep on Brownie.
That's a good idea.
At least Jeremy or I, one of us could jump out and get on Brownie to be
Right.
comfortable. But Brownie's covered in toads and crap. So, I mean, it's just stacked with stuff that I have been dying to go through. And most of it's school stuff.
I'm going to challenge you. I know we're both swamped as parents and as professionals in our business and stuff we do daily. How about between this week and next week? So between this show and maybe a handful more segments here of Younger Life Live, that I challenge you to get rid of some of the totes and get Brownie to be back.
You know what?
And I'll do the
so
same.
Embarrassing. I could take a picture of Brownie looking like, well, you can't see Brownie because
Brownie's
buried.
covered. There you go.
I would take a picture and then show a picture of Brownie clean, and that would, as she puts it, I mean, that would absolutely declutter not just my Brownie couch, but declutter that would be a lot of weight off me to know that it would look nice.
I think we have to get rid of Brownie, but that would kill you, wouldn't it?
I love it. And it's great to have an extra spot, really.
For someone else to sleep in.
Oh my goodness. When
Especially
the kids come in.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
One of my kids has apnea, so he's a kicker, and it's ridiculous. So we cannot sleep. And my husband,
keep Brownie.
So many times he gets up, or the apnea causes snoring. He'll put in his earplugs from work, so he could get on Brownie. That would be nice. Give him a little bit more space, and that would be nice.
Younger Life Live.
Stuff off of it.
This is what it's all about, huh?
Right.
Taking some new steps.
It's a very good book. I would
Great
say.
stuff.
Entertaining.
How about this? I'm going to throw out a couple of quotes for you from the book. If you think tidying is an endless chore that must be done every day, you are gravely mistaken. There are two types of tidying: daily tidying and special event tidying. The purpose of the book, of course, is to inspire you to tackle the special event of putting your house in order as soon as possible. And how about this one? Putting things away creates the illusion that the clutter problems has been solved, but sooner or later, all the storage units are full.
Absolutely.
This is where I'm at. The room once again overflows with things, and some new and easy storage method becomes necessary, creating a negative spiral. That is why tidying must start with discarding. And you want to know what? I'm really looking at some of the stuff I'm saying today, and I read up on this, and I think because you put it into a different perspective, for me, it's always the ladies in our lives or our significant others that kind of keep us focused. This is good.
Brownie, you would. It is certainly not me. It's just she had a different perspective again, and I like the respect aspect. I need to discard a lot, apparently. Get rid of a lot. And her theory is then if you do that and do her method, the KonMari method, you're surrounded by just things that you love. So
sure.
Which is beautiful. And
what if my wife wanted to get rid of me? Am I this one that she's?
It's funny you say that. She said in there that many of her clients have she gets a lot of responses. She keeps in touch with the clients, have divorced, which I think that's terrible and
that's
so sad.
Crazy.
She says you find that for whatever reason there's no longer a spark of joy, which I find so sad. And a lot of people on the more inspirational side would find new careers and stuff because they say, I realize that I've just been doing the things I should quote unquote be doing rather than looking for something that brings joy. So they found new careers, or the detoxing their own bodies is what she says naturally occurs. So the spouse thing I find sad, but other than that, it's nice and inspiring to hear that these people are finding these all of these things right in their life because they are attributing that to the fact of decluttering. I don't know that I would go that far. It does feel pretty darn good when things are in order, and God knows I need to work on that. But
we just had a text message from someone asking if she offers, and this is great to hear about the book. So it's hard for a lot of people to read books, and books are also available, books on tape, or books on disc.
You can get an audiobook on this. It's downloadable.
I love it.
I found
like
too
that.
Online. I know if you're looking at any of the LaPorte County libraries right now, the copies that they have are on hold, but there's an audio version that's downloadable. There's also, you could buy a book on tape, whatever. It's all over. But.
Well, someone asked about does she offer types of classes and stuff, and I'm looking at some of the liners on this one, and it says I currently offer a course for clients in their homes and for company owners in their offices. I got to tell you, I'm that guy, especially the office stuff, because again, I'll give you a great example. We do so many live and local radio and TV events, especially radio stuff, all over our area. There's always a piece of paper. There's always a program. There's always a picture. There's always stuff that is mentioned. There's always banners. And I actually have, you could ask whether it's Ryan, Beth, or anybody on this crew, I have stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff. So what do you do with this? But she does have classes that show a little bit about how tidying up and their way of thinking and their approach to life. I kind of like this because it does help you on a different groove.
It's a little different level. She does currently have a wait list. Right now, I think it's a 3-month waiting list. And she says she's never run out of clients. And my favorite thing, again, I think a lot of the parts of her method I find a little absurd, which I mean, and not practical for myself.
Sure.
For my own self.
You're just being honest.
But she says that she's never had a client revert, which is like the biggest seller for me. I think, holy moly, I could really have someone teach me to stay like that. I mean, it's minimalism in a way. Is a little bit of her theory, trying to not be attached to your things. I mean, respecting your things, but not be attached to them. Like,
I'm with you.
Want to, have them all around you. So I like that in theory. Her approach was different than the other books I've read before. I took away from it some things that I would definitely try and maybe change, even if I don't jump all in, like some of the, some people are all in. And
I am going to try, and I think that's for anybody listening or viewing right now. I think that's what all can hope for. Realistically, you can't just, and everybody, we all agree to disagree. So that being said, and in a real life perspective, which this is,
yes,
I get it because I'm truly going through this right now. But you have given me insight today, along with this book and some of the things that we're discussing. It's bringing out, it's kind of like talking about ideas in life or work or a job. Brings out stuff. I'll try that. I'll take pictures tonight. Yeah. I'm going to try to dump a bunch of stuff tonight to get rid of it. And I have to tell you, I think maybe a good way to get rid of some of the books that I have, although I don't feel like I want to part with them, I always think about when I'm gone. I'm not trying to be morbid, but I always think, what would these guys get rid of? I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably even more than that, of programs from concerts. Yeah. A lot of them are framed, but a lot of them are just I have bins of them and ticket stubs. I have stubs. Yeah. That to me this is the stuff I love.
Treasure. But you don't want to get rid of that.
Would they get rid of it? Being my wife and my 2 daughters. All I said to them is keep my guitars and pass them on. Keep my Fender Strat, keep my Les Paul, keep my Rickenbacker bass, keep my Fairy, keep my guitars. Yeah. Get rid of everything else. I don't care. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, wait, why am I going to put them through that? I'll get rid of it now. But I'm doing one of these. You see this.
I know. Well, if it really is your treasure, you shouldn't. And according to Marie Kondo, it brings a spark for you. Don't get rid of it. One thing I did find fascinating about a class, and this might be something we should look up and post it online, maybe.
Sure.
If we can.
We both turned to look at Ryan.
To look at Ryan.
Ryan. Woo!
I don't even know if there's any in the area. I didn't look up any upcoming events.
Sure.
She had tickets sold for a public speaking to stay-at-home parents, and it's sold out. It's sold out overnight, and there was a waiting list for cancellations. Like, it was just crazy, and nobody has repeated the course because they take away, and either one, they think not gonna happen, or two, they take something away from it. You know what I mean? So that would be awesome if anywhere in the area or surrounding area she would be speaking.
I'm telling you, we need to get her on.
I know. I wish we could have. I wish that would have.
Maybe we can.
Maybe we will.
We'll put that on the Mary Rick list.
Maybe after I clean off Brownie, so she really
Part
doesn't scold
2.
me. After we get that, and then we could say at least we learned that from the.
I am so with you, Rick Federici, Mary Anthony. Okay, so let's throw this out there. I'm going to take this quote from her book. Let's look at that book again here on Younger Life Live. The life-changing magic of tidying up, the Japanese art of decluttering and organizing, Marie Kondo. Here's what Marie said. Let's stay on this book for a moment because I want to say most people would prefer to live in a clean and tidy space. This is from Marie. Anyone who has managed to tidy even once will have wished to keep it that way. I'm going to say you're right on that. Are you right? It's okay. Yeah. But many don't believe it's possible. I agree with that.
Me too, but I've real life.
Right.
Disaster house.
They try out various approaches to tidying, only to find that things soon return to, and I say this loosely, quote, normal. I am absolutely convinced, this is from Marie, however, that everyone can keep his or her space in order. Okay, that's a goal for me.
It is
That's
a goal.
a goal.
This is the thing.
That's
This
a
is
goal.
the thing I took from the book in a little more comical sense.
Sure.
I literally thought, is she writing her own story of OCD? I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true in a sense where if you're so paranoid every night that you don't have your wallet laid out on the table, that you're...
You know when I'm really friendly with my wallet? When all the charge cards have zero balances,
goodness,
and there's actually a couple bucks in there.
No kidding, I never.
When was that?
Yeah, I'm like, what? I don't even know that that's ever been the case.
Right. With families and being
still,
middle class,
I think
you
that
get
would
it.
Be fantastic.
Sure.
But
Sure.
you know, I think that the magic for her, she says, you know, that your world feels brightened once you've experienced what that's like.
Right.
To have everything actually in order and maintained that is what she calls the magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's that feeling that you connect to your belongings because you're surrounded by things that you love once you've gone through the process and gone through all her categories and managed to discard. And by the way, she organizes without stacking. She does vertical, which I find
Wait.
a little
So
strange.
not stacking.
Even her socks, as she lines them up in her drawer, like you don't ball your socks; they need to breathe.
Oh my gosh!
And rest. I know.
The only way that Rick Federici, being the colorblind boy that I am, the blues and the purples, like for example, my cool socks that I like, which I match to my. I hate to be weird, but to what I wear.
No, that's cool.
Or my wife will say it's in the top drawer. It matches that tie, or whatever.
That's perfect.
Or the sweater I am. I say wear a black Nike shirt under that because it'll look cool.
You know what I think?
I'm
I
just
think
saying,
you just said it. You just had a great point. Organizing is different for everybody. You know what? You may not be all stacked. I mean, all vertical, not stacked. But you know what? You just said. You know, you knew where it was. Your wife said the tie from the top drawer. That's perfect. So you organize in your own method.
Sure.
She had great ideas. Again, I think I would certainly say if you have the chance to go back and read, or at least look through the Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. It's by Marie Kondo. It was
it's right there on the screen, people.
Very good. Yeah, different idea, different approach to the other organization books, and good time to do it. New year.
I agree.
Start fresh. Try to tackle it early on.
In Japan, on a final thought here, people believe that things like cleaning your room and keeping your bathroom spick and span bring good luck. But if your house is cluttered, the effect of polishing the toilet bowl is going to be limited. Oh my gosh, how true is that? The same is true for the practice of feng shui. Yeah. It is only when you put your house in order that your furniture and decorations come to life. Do you feel that way there, young lady?
Right. You feel the spark.
I am so with you. Well, cool show.
Yeah,
great book.
Idea.
I love it.
Very different.
And the different things. On a quick note, we got just a few seconds left. Later this week, we're going to have a chef here in studio.
I'm so excited.
And I think that we could challenge each other to potentially, are you up for potentially going head to head, but on a cool way with cooking some stuff and maybe trying out.
New.
But here's what I'm going to do. I want to try it. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I don't like it, if you make it.
If I don't like it, I have a terrible gag reflex. I think everyone will.
Yeah.
There's like no hiding it.
Yeah.
If I hate it, it's going to be obvious. So.
Thank you so much for joining us on Younger Life Live. I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
And this is great. I will see you guys tomorrow with Mary. Of course, not only on YouTube.com, you could scope it out, but also on YoungerLife.org here on Girard Media's WIMS. You have a great day. God bless our veterans. And thanks to our tech team at Younger Life Live. And of course, Ryan Beth, our executive producer. Bye-bye.
Bye.
AM 1420, WIMS, Michigan City, a Girard Media Company station.
CBS News, I'm Peter King. A presidential